Alive for your family. It is yours truly, Ifaremi Olosun, and I'm here again to deliver a lesson, hopefully a message, and to assist you in some way to elevate, to empower yourself, and to rise into your power. Today, here and now, I want to talk about none other than the great, the amazing, liberating, rejuvenating, healing, powerful, okay, let me stop. I want to talk about Oshun. I want to talk about, as we refer to, we may say my mother. You know, we personify the Orisha, the spirit energies of the Orisha, so that we can better understand them. That is what our ancestors did for us, to be able to teach our children's children, to be able to understand and process the spirit energies of these primordial energies, of these powers, of these manifestations of Olodumare, materializations of Olodumare that we call the Orisha. And today I want to talk about Oshun, my mother, meaning that she is, that spirit, her spirit energy is, denoting that it is a feminine spirit energy. That she is the mother of all mothers. My mother, Oriye Oshun. Oshun, what is Orisha Oshun? Who is Orisha Oshun? I don't want to give you something that you have read on Google, that you can read on Google, that other people have said before. There's so many people who just felt that they can come on YouTube and talk about Oshun. It's their prerogative. But I'm here to give this world a piece of me, a piece of my understanding through my lens of what Oshun is. Oshun is the embodiment, the epitome of a life, of fruitfulness, she is the seed of life. The seed of life that continues to multiply, unfold, to bring forth and to expand, to bring forth more and more life. But each time, the seed of life that is her expands to create more and more life. Each time, every life is uniquely beautiful, different, a slightly new expression of beauty, of her creativity, of her love. You know, the Christians say that God so beloved the world that he gave his only begotten son. No, Oshun didn't take anything from us, so-called, to give to us. Her energy, that's why it's love. The spirit energy of Oshun is the part of life that enables everything that we feast our eyes on to be a feast, to be beautiful to the eyes. Oshun is the reason why life is not supposed to be bland and boring. That Oshun spirit energy is the reason why, and I want to make sure I always convey that it's spirit energy, not just seeing the Orisha like people. Oshun is the reason why there's dimension, that the world is more dynamic, that we all have unique stories, that no flower smells the same, that no cloud is shaped the same, that no tree looks the same, that no destiny is the same. That's why Oshun is revered as a spirit energy also of creativity. Most people who walk strongly with the spirit of energy of Oshun will be very creative by nature. They will be artistes. Oshun is the reason why everything is just not white and black. It's the loving energy of Oshun that made sure that we didn't just come to earth to experience life without taste, without beauty, without colors, different broad spectrums of color to lay our eyes upon. It's the loving energy of Oshun that created things in nature where we can just look at it and be healed just from feasting out, looking at it, gazing at it, reflecting on it, meditating with it, sitting in the beauty of a field of flowers, just to be able to bring a smile to our face. That's love, Oshun's love. The spirit energy that enables life, the continuity of life, which is why she's associated with fertility. The feminine energy that keeps life going and going and going and going. The sweetness comes from the sweet water, the river. It's the sweet waters of the rivers that gives us the water that we use to drink, to cook, to bathe, to live. It is the sweet waters of Oshun that runs, creates, knocks, that pushes through so powerful enough that her rivers push through the strongest stone and boulders of rock to deliver the water that is needed to her children of the earth. It is the sweet waters of Oshun that has the ability, no matter how much they try to dilute it with chemicals, with bleach, with all the things that they do in the modern Western world to the waters here. When now the way that they have the plumbing systems here, the water systems, they do so much to try to take the ashe out of the water, but it doesn't work. The path of fire can never follow the path of water. That's Oshun. No matter what they try to do, water still has the ability. Sweet waters, Oshun, that spirit energy of the water, still has the ability to heal us. I put in a few of my posts that when a child isn't feeling well, when people aren't feeling well, they turn to water. Drink water. Put a white cloth on your cool white cloth on your head dipped in water. Concoct a pot of herbs and water. What do people use to baptize? Water. And Ifa tradition, we refer to Oshun as Omio. Omi means water. All water is connected to Oshun. Yes, all water is, Oshun is connected to all water. I know that we have Olokun, we have Yemoja, we have other water Oba, we have other water spirit energies. Oshun is connected to them all. Oshun, out of being the mother of fertility, continuity, creativity, and love. The materialization of Olodumare, that is those things. Oshun is also the spirit energy of liberation, freedom, Again, with that creativity and expression, the freedom to live, to be happy, to rejoice, to smile, to laugh, that childlike energy I always talk about in many of my videos. It's liberation. Oshun is a liberator. Olade koju. Oshun shegeshe ewuji. Oshun oshagbo oroki. I pay homage. Oshun is a liberator and a savior. Ifa says there's no airway. Not only that there's no fire, there's no herb. Airway means herb. There's no herb more powerful than Omi water. Oshun's healing water. Oshun's healing water is more powerful than any herb Osayin can provide. Oshun is a savior, a healer, a liberator. Just to name a few. Oshun is the rawest form in my truth of divine feminine energy. Strong and protective, yet sweet and loving. Oshun is harmony and balance. She is the part of creation that enables harmony. Remember, there is no Orisha that can ever disregard. We can't consider not one single Orisha without acknowledging Oshun. I want to talk a little bit. I said this in a live I did with Goddess Oshun Femi on Instagram. I love to talk about how Oshun is a liberator, because that is the way that Oshun showed up in my life. So many people talk about how Oshun is loving, she's sweet, the energy is beautiful and so, delicate and dainty and blah, blah, blah. Not blah, blah, blah to the truths of the matter. The blah, blah, blah to the status quo and the misconceptions about Oshun. While Oshun energy is sweet and motherly and soft, just like any other mother, Oshun wrath will come down when it needs to come down in order to liberate and save her children. There's nothing Oshun's energy won't push through, get through, in order for the sake of continuity, for the sake of love, nurturing, and to protect. Again, feminine energy, mother energy, in its purest form. My personal story. When I first got into Ifa, I went to have a reading done in Washington, D.C. with the people I was affiliated with at that time. And in that reading, they were, of course, Babalawos, Ianifa, who were initiated, Africans born in America who did the reading for me. Long story short, they said that my Orisha was Obatala and Oshun, and of course, it's in my destiny to have Ifa, to embrace the system of knowledge that is Ifa. So I just wondered, why I've done, Oshun, all the other Orisha are showing up so strongly, without a doubt in my life. But I honestly didn't make a connection with Oshun until later in life. So when you see all of these people saying, Oshun is my Orisha, look at me, Oshun, Oshun, Oshun. And everybody want Oshun to be their Orisha. Oshun is no joke, and Oshun is a force to be reckoned with. That has been proven in Osei Torah and so many Odus, and in my life and in other people's life. Oshun is not all bells and whistles. and beauty and surface level stuff. Oshun didn't even show up strongly into my life until more recently. What do I mean by that? One has to be ready, even if that is the spirit energy you walk with. One has to be in a certain point and place in their life, a certain point and place in their being, in their mind, to fully be able to be a divine reflection of Oshun energy. It's very strong, very powerful. Because of all of my trauma, I was so much in my masculine energy for a long time. I didn't know how, and because of my upbringing and my mother's upbringing and her mother's upbringing, you know the story of melanated women here in this country. Many of us are kind of conditioned and forced to be too much in our masculine energy, and along with that, because of trauma, hurt, and pain that I experienced. Oshun ain't coming nowhere. If you see a woman who's jealous of other women, if you see a woman who is walking around like she's a man, in the sense of she doesn't have that femininity, that sweetness or gentleness about her, not all the time, but at all. If you see a woman who is guarded tighter than Fort Knox, she's saying she's Omo Oshun, she may not be, or she may not have evolved enough to even represent herself as such. Long story short, Oshun came into my life and made that energy became present and prevalent in my life when I needed it the most and when I had healed enough to be able to be a reflection of the spirit energy of Oshun in the physical form. When I was going through my roughest time, I tell the story not for pity, not for sympathy, but because I know people out there may be going through or have gone through the same thing. When I was going through my roughest time, I was in a emotionally abusive marriage, a verbally abusive marriage. And then I'm not placing the blame on anyone, that, the person that I was married to. Again, a lot of the things we experience is because of our own unhealed parts, But anyway, I was in it. And so I was in the darkest place I had ever been. I had just given birth to 2 children. They were 2 years apart, and I was pregnant with the 3rd child in that marriage. And the person was, I always say, he was the compilation of all of my shadow selves manifested into a human being. He was all the parts of me coming raging at me like, look at your unhealed self in a person form. Took me a long time to realize that. But anyway, I was in this narcissistic, abusive marriage. I was depressed. I had no family support. I had these children. And I'll say this, there's levels to poverty. At that point in time, I was in break it down for you, poverty, with 3 small children and married to a narcissistic man who I had poured so much money into because of my low self-esteem, trauma, unhealed parts, depression, lack of self-love, lack of self-worth, all for many, many reasons. Spent so much money to help the individual come to the U.S., to help give gifts and stuff to the family, all types of stuff I had did out because of lack of self-worth. Now I'm broke, I'm in poverty. I had 2 small I was broke, I was in poverty, and I had 2 small children, one on the way, and a no good narcissistic abusive husband. What am I going to do? It was like I was living in a dream, in a dark space, like a hovering shadow was over me. I didn't know how to get out. But within that marriage, while the person cheated, lied, scammed, abandoned, abused. I'm not saying it was right, but at the time, I thought I was. I never lied. I never cheated. I never did anything wrong. But I was just suffering, and I didn't know why. I couldn't see in what way I had contributed to my own suffering because of my own unhealed parts. So I remember one day I had nothing to offer. At that point, I remember I was in North Carolina. I had to go to a church for food. I had to go to, if there was a program that existed there, I was on it. I had no food, no nothing for my children. I didn't know I was in a bad situation. And so only thing I had at this time, trying to skip some parts, but the person who I was married to, he was in, he was out, he was doing his own thing. He just wanted to come over for the green card. Use me, use the children. It was not good. So, but I did recently, I had done my Oshun initiation. I was able to achieve that. Spirit made sure I achieved that. Even in spite of people who, that's why I say it's not a matter of what people try to do. It's your destiny. It's Olodumare. It's the source. It's the divine consciousness. What is written and what you know and what you help to manifest about what is written for you. So anywho, the initiation happened. And all I had, try to make this quick, all I had was my Oshun shrine. I had women that he was dating, threatening me. Who are you? If he's with me. I had men, if he's with you. I had people that he was associated with fighting me. I'm pregnant. I'm broke. I was pregnant. I was broke. I was this. I was that. And I said, I had this shrine. I went at that time. I went to my Oshun shrine. And I said, Oshun, I know your waters are sweet. I know my ancestors would wade at the water down by the riverside. All I had to offer right now are my tears. I lie to you not. I said, Oshun, all I have to offer are my tears. So I let my tears, I hovered over the pot like this, and I cried, and I cried, and I cried, and I cried. All I could do was cry. Help me, the divine spirit energy of Oshun that is within me, within the universe, and that is me. You know, you see. May I be assisted in overcoming and coming out of this situation. May my enemies be conquered. May I rise above and out of this situation. The next day, the woman who had been talking badly to me, disrespecting me as the person's wife at the time, she called the person who I was married to with bad news. She had been locked up. She had been arrested. She had been in a fight. The woman had the nerve to be married herself. Her own husband, who she was in a process of trying to divorce, had beat her, bruised her, beat her badly. That woman was no longer a problem for me, needless to say. That's why I'm saying the old folks used to say at that time, let God fight your battles. Let your higher self, let the divine that is you. Okay? After that, something overcame me. Something overcame me. And it was kind of, I went into manifestation to the side of Oshun, that is the head of the Iami. Don't forget, Oshun is the head of the Iami Aje. Something overcame me. Everybody knows I've told this story, and people who know me know it's true. And all of a sudden, I felt powerful beyond measure, and I transformed. And when you're under manifestation, you're within yourself, watching yourself, but there's nothing you can do. A higher, stronger part of yourself comes down. That spirit energy of Oshun, that is Iyamiaje. Long story short, I had the strength. You know how us people here, the strength, not strength, but the strength. Oh gosh. the strength to face the person I was with at the time. Because now, all of a sudden, he popped up back in the house in the midst of the suffering when he thought he felt like it, he could. Because I gave him the reason to believe he could. So anyway, I dressed and I put on what Spirit told me to put on. I faced him and I looked him in the eyes. It wasn't me. It's the divine part of me that was Oshun, that was the Iyanyaje. And he looked at me like he saw the ghost. I never forget, he was terrified. He saw something in me and he knew the power that I had, which is why he was draining me, trying to drain me, correction. And he looked at me like he saw a ghost. And the spirit that assisted me, that was the aspect of Oshun, said to him, what you are doing, you know what it is. Stop it. And if you don't stop, you will die. I remember, because you hear yourself in some instances within yourself, but it's nothing. I was just, those who know what I'm trying to describe, those who've been there. So he just looked scared and terrified. And then the next day, after that night and the rituals and all the things that Oshun guided me to do that night, the next day, the individual was still there. I was about 7 months pregnant. And 6 or 7 months or so, can't recall, with our third child. And I started packing his stuff. I don't know what it was. I know what it was. I said, get out. He called his father. He called his family. She's beating me. She's beating me. She's beating me. She put me out in the cold. He tried to manipulate his way to. And I said, I don't care if you want to be the victim. I don't care what you want to be. I had enough power not to care. And I said, get out. I had no help. I had no money. I had not much support. I didn't know what I was going to do. But this was the steps. So long story short, he left. I put his no good behind. I elevated beyond the parts of me that attracted him into my life. I healed. And I began more and more to be who you see me on this YouTube channel and what people know me to be. Free. I was able to free myself. Oshun is a savior. I said in my life, Oshun saved me from myself. Oshun saved me from that horrible, abusive, narcissistic marriage that I somehow brought into my life through my own unhealed parts. Never place blame on another person. That's a disservice to us. And so Oshun saved me. And slowly but surely, I began getting back to me. If one could see the picture, I wish I could find some of the way I looked then. I was like 80 pounds. I don't know. I was really, even though I was pregnant, people know my energy, my aura. I was oppressed. It was a hot mess. Oshun liberated me from that. I've watched Oshun liberate many women from the hands of abuse, mutilation, depression, trauma. Oshun is a liberator and protector. I put in, going back to what I was about to say, in the Instagram live that I had did, I talked about the story of how Oshun saved the town of Oshogbo from the hands of the Fulani tribe, who at that time wanted to conquer the town. And Oshun disguised herself. This is a story in Yoruba land. Oshun disguised herself as a woman in the market selling food. And so she was selling something in the market. She was selling food in the market. And the soldiers came into the market, the Fulani soldiers. And as she was giving them the food, she was really, as she was coming off as this sweet woman selling in the market, as she was giving it to them, she actually poisoned them. So the soldiers were not in a condition to fight, and the town of Oshogbo was saved. So many stories, so many ways that Oshun is a savior. Savior through the healing waters, savior from the lights that she gives. She's saved. I put in the video as well. Go and check it out. Maybe I'll try to see if I can put the link in the box below, in the comment box. But she saved the world. Oshun saved the world from and doing the creation story in Osei Torah. When the world was all the Orisha that came together, all the masculine energies. You know, it's we also talking about metaphorically, tongue twister. Metaphorically speaking, energetically speaking, remember all of this stuff, don't just personify it, although the Orisha did materialize into and walk the earth. But we also talking about energy, and we're talking about the creation story on a in the cosmos with asteroids, planets, how they combined and all of that and came together to create the landmass of what we call Earth. And I'll get into that later, but to begin to create Earth. So at the time, it was all these hard masculine energies. Shango with the fire, Ogun with the core of the earth, iron. You know, Osun, Eshu, all these masculine, Orumila, just masculine, all the masculine Orisha, so the male Orisha was thinking they had it going on. But the earth, Obatala, is personified more so, well, people like to anyway, as a male Orisha. That'll be in another video. And I'll talk on it a little bit here too about Oshun. So they failed at their attempt to create the earth. And then they went back to Olodumare. You know, this is again, it's symbolically to say the earth, nothing we're doing is working. It's not habitable for any human being to live on. What do we do? So Olodumare said, you forgot one Orisha, you forgot one divine energy that's needed. And it was Oshun. So once they went, they apologized to Oshun. Oshun said, okay, no problem, I forgive you. And Oshun, her spirit energy of the divine feminine that is she, was poured into the earth and used during the creation of the earth. And it was successful. There was balance and harmony. So Oshun saved the earth. Oshun is a savior and a liberator. So I implore any woman out there, any male out there, anyone out there who needs saving, who needs to be empowered. Let me correct that. I don't want to go too. You got to be careful with people coming out of the Christian. I implore anyone who wants to be empowered to save themselves to tap into, learn to connect, if it's in divine order for you to do so, with the spirit energy of Oshun. Now let's get to that. Common questions and misconceptions about Oshun. Can a non-initiated person give offerings to Oshun? The answer to that is no. But there is some circumstances in which one can. So let's say the general answer is no. It's not a good idea for any non-initiated person to go out there calling themselves going to a river, because you take oranges to a river, honey to a river, and a bell to a river, and you know a little bit about Oshun, you want to invoke the spirit energy of Oshun. Oshun has many aspects. Again, don't take the sweetness the wrong way. Any spirit energy that has not come to you and you go to it, it will backfire. So if you're doing so under the guidance of an Iya, who is an initiate of Oshun, under a Baba, who is an initiate of Oshun, they're telling you what to do and helping you to properly work with the spirit energy of Oshun, to properly invoke the spirit energy of Oshun, then under those circumstances, you've been in the tradition for some time, you respect the Orisha, you know, you're a little seasoned in it, you have someone that you're working with, Oshun is your Orisha, and you want to start, you know, just paying a homage, you know, for whatever reason, under the guidance. In some cases, yes. You have to understand that Oshun priests and priestesses are trained. They are initiated. They have been given ashe. Their ashe within that part within them that is Oshun has been empowered to be able to invoke, more empowered to reconnect to the spirit energy of Oshun, more empowered to invoke the spirit energy of Oshun. And hopefully they have been trained on how to do so in a respectable and proper way. Going to work with a spirit energy that you're not familiar with and doing things the wrong way can very easily not work out good for you. Trust me on that. There must always be order in the things that we do. Even though we feel we powerful, if we born with all Orisha, why can't I do it? Even the earth itself, as I always say, even the earth itself has and needs and requires order to exist. So we just can't go putting ourselves out there doing all types of willing, anything we want to do. There's order. Oshun is a Yoruba deity. Spirit energy that originated from Yoruba indigenous spirituality. So we must, that's her spirit energy. I put in another video. I don't want to make this too long. Her spirit energy was birthed and cultivated through the years in a certain way and has been cultivated to respond and is cultivated through the years to respond to certain things. So if you go take an Oshun, I don't know, corn on the cob and say, oh, Oshun told me I should give corn on the cob. So what I'm trying to say is there have to be some type of order, and there's a system, and this spirit energies have been cultivated, and it recognizes certain things through the years. It responds, it receives, it's invoked in a certain way through the years, because you come along and want to do something a certain way, and now that spirit energy is going to respond to anything that you do. It can backfire. Everything has its own energy, and certain energies respond to another energy a certain way. There's a reason. There's certain offerings, there's certain invocations, there's certain ways to appease and work with Oshun, and there's a reason that is only advisable that Oshun priests and priestesses, or in certain occasions, even at the Oshun festival, there are priests, Oshun priests all around when the people are going there to pray, to give offerings. They have leaders who usher the people in to do that, who have done rituals for weeks before to invite the spirit energy of Oshun there. There are other spirit energies that live at the riverside. There's other spirit energies all around us, and we think we invoking Oshun to give us something to Oshun. We don't know what spirit energy we feeding. So that's why it's advisable to allow someone who has been trained to do it on your behalf until you are empowered, initiated, or guided by someone who is well versed in how to do it. Okay, bringing Oshun down on that. A lot of my male clients, male students who come to me, and they get Ifa consultation to determine if Oshun is their Orisha or not. Excuse me, who is their Orisha? Jumping ahead of myself. They are often surprised when it comes back to be a feminine energy as their main Orisha. Men and women are composed of both masculine and feminine energies. And yes, a male can have Oshun. That's another question. A male can have Oshun as their main Orisha. That just means that that male, and one of his powers is his ability to heal. Men can heal. They taught us, they have conditioned us and taken the melanated male from his ability. Men are nurturers too. Men are nurturers too. Men can rock their babies to sleep. Men can love their children. Men can love and support their women. Our men can do that. They can embody the spirit energy of Oshun. Our men can help liberate men and women. All the things that Oshun, that spirit energy is, men possess it too and can do it and is it. And some more so than others, as it can be their main Orisha. And Yoruba spirituality, general rule, Yoruba indigenous spirituality, there is no sexual preference as far as human beings for Orisha. A man or woman can have Oya as their main Orisha. A man or woman can have Yemoja as their Orisha. A man or woman can have Oshun as their Orisha. Same way a woman can have Shango as her Orisha. Don't try to associate their physical form with spirit energy. Also, if a man has, in some systems, in some branches of the way that it has evolved in other spiritual, the Yoruba indigenous spirituality as it crossed the waters into Cuba and all these other places, some people will say that a male who is homosexual, they will instantly associate that male with Oshun. That's not true. Yes, homosexual men, just like any other human being, can have Oshun, but don't just assume because they're homosexual that Oshun is their Orisha. That's not how this works. It goes according to that person's destiny and what spirit energy they came to earth to embody, to reflect, what spirit energy is most prevalent to that individual's destiny and performing what they came here to do. What spirit energy radiates the strongest through that spirit, through that individual. So don't assume, don't try to associate. That's another misconception. Let me see here some of the misconceptions. I had to write them down. Complexion. Again, that is not a Yoruba indigenous spiritual way to determine a person's Orisha. Some people will say, oh, she's fair skinned in some paths, not in traditional path. That's some misconception. I don't know where that comes from. Oshun is actually referred to in olden times as, and still today, as Iadudu, the black mother. So Oshun, as far as appearance, physical appearance, is really associated with a dark-skinned woman. Oshun being fair-skinned does not mean that you're Omo Oshun. You want to really make sure that you are empowering and balancing and working mostly with your main Orisha, the one that your destiny has chosen for you to do so for in this life. Don't sell yourself short by just wanting to affiliate yourself with something, with an Orisha that's supposed to be popular at the given time because of skin color or because of beauty or because of any surface level human reasons. So that is a misconception. Okay, let's see what else we got here that people say. Oh, people also ask about, is Oshun and Yemoja the same? In Yoruba indigenous spiritual system, no. They will tell you that Oshun and Yemoja is not the same. If you want to know, I'm not speaking from any training I had in Yoruba land. I'm just telling you from my own personal interpretation. We're talking about spirit energy. If you study geography and understand how the river works and how the river and the water system works all together, and how the rivers flow like this, swoop all around through the earth, go all around, give water, healing, life to all plant life, all vegetation, human beings, circle all around, and pours back into where? The ocean, and becomes one with what some people refer to as Olokun, some people refer to as Yemoja energy. So Yemoja is also referred to as Omio. So in my truth, this is just me. Don't go telling people Ifaremi teaching that Yoruba traditional says, traditional spirituality or Yoruba indigenous spiritual system say. This is my own personal opinion. Yemoja and Oshun. That's why in some paths they will say daughters, mother, daughter, different things. When the spirit energy that is the river goes around through the earth, like I just described, it becomes a different spirit energy of the same energy. If I'm able to convey this in a way that you can understand, then it merges with the ocean. So then what is it then? Is it still, is that spirit energy still Oshun? Or is it Olokun or Yemoja? What I'm trying to say is energies adapt and change, like I said in one video. It's kind of avatars of the same energy. Oshun is portrayed as a mermaid and Yoruba indigenous spirituality. Also, and as in Mami Water, for Mami Water priests, they portray Mami Water as a mermaid, even though they work with Mami Water primarily through like the ocean line at the sea. So mermaid of the ocean, mermaid of the river. I'll leave the rest of that for you to think about and reflect on. But the traditional, the indigenous, the way that is practiced in Yoruba land, no. Oshun and Yemoja is not the same. Oshun is not a promiscuous, as I said in another video. It's not, should not be associated. That is some Western world over sexualized, disrespectful way of thinking about a primordial divine spirit energy that is a manifestation of source. Oshun is not to be associated with because one person is hot to trot or like to show their skin or has many men or goes from man to man. The stories that talks about Oshun being married to the different spirit energies, Ogun, Shango, Orimila, Obatala, and so on. And you have to remember, it's not from a human way of thinking. This is symbolism, saying that Oshun is connected, is connected to every spirit energy that exists. There is no spirit energy, no Orisha that is separate from, or that can be separate from, or that can go without acknowledging the importance of Oriyeye Oshun. So it doesn't mean that because Oshun and the Eton stories and all of the stories that's been passed around, some of them made up, has been told to have been married to this Orisha, that Orisha, is not to say that Oshun, people that walk with that spirit energy, has no self-constraint or self-control. In truth, Oshun spirit energy is also because of the association, like she was married to Obatala, meaning that is an aspect of Oshun as well. Purity, cleanliness, whiteness. One of Oshun colors is white for that very reason. Oshun does not like bad character. Oshun energy does not flourish in a space where one, I said that earlier in the video, where one has bad character, stained character. Oshun is clean. Oshun is not about to be dip with this one, that one, that one. Oshun energy flourishes in cleanliness. Oshun is respectable, to be revered and honored, a woman of honor, a spirit energy of honor, to be respected. If Oshun energy is so strong that it pushed past iron boulders to deliver water throughout the earth, it's so powerful and strong that earth could not even exist without the spirit energy. With that spirit energy now, how can that spirit energy now be reduced to a piece of ass that's passed around from person to person? That means you walk with, no, Oshun energy is strong, powerful, loving, revered, and a force not to even try, cannot be reckoned with. So that's not true. Say all of that to say is not true. Let's not reduce our science. Let's not reduce primordial energies of the universe. Let's not reduce the divine aspects that is us, our godliness, the divine within us, the part of Olodumare that is us in all things. Let's not reduce it to sexual, to that. So with that being said, it's so much things. This video was so long. Oops. But I hope I answered many questions. I hope I answered many questions about Orisa Oshun. I give thanks to Oshun. May Oshun continue to liberate. May Oshun energy continue to sustain life. May Oshun energy continue to give life. May Oshun energy continue to enable us to love one another. May Oshun energy enable us to be free, to enjoy, to live, to express, to create. And as gods, what do gods do? Create. May we continue to create. May we embrace beauty of life. May we not walk past a beautiful flower without acknowledging it. Orisa Osun. Omio. Otao. Edao. Ario. About. Orisa Osun. And as always, my love to you. Balance B. If this resonated with you, helped you, pay it forward. Like, share, comment, support me, my businesses, my Instagram, my Facebook. I'm here for you. Keep the knowledge flowing. Let's keep giving the way Oshun gives to us. My love to all. Infinite blessings. Mwah.